Tim, are we broadcasting? Can they hear me in the back? Okay, well, I don't want to offend anybody. Even though the summer is on its way out, we have some classes that can support your spiritual growth. The Quest, which is a class by Reverend Dr. Leo Fishback, is a drop-in discussion on Thursday mornings running through August 30th. The Tibetan Bowl meditations on Monday evening will run to the beginning of September. And Reverend Tammy and Rick Mars will begin the third session of their discussion group on the book, The Way of Mastery. It's entitled The Way of Knowing. It's on Thursday evenings for 6 weeks, and it starts at the end of the month. Okay, who'd like to recite those back to me? Please sign up in the family room, and remember that there is no drumming circle in August and September. It will reconvene in October. We are very proud to co-host with the San Diego chapter of the Art of Living Foundation, which was created by His Holiness Sri Sri Rav Shankar. I did so good at first service. Really smooth. Anyways, the class is called Mind and Meditation. Michael Fishman will be the instructor, and I have a video to set him up. It talks about his awakening with His Holiness. So, Marv?
People don't seem to have a problem going to a university and studying from a professor. But studying from a spiritual leader, people are a little afraid and apprehensive to doing that. But something that's so abstract, consciousness, how could one learn that from a book? How could one gain that just from a technique? You really need a teacher to guide you through the maze of your own mind.
Wait, there's more.
When I started on this path, I was so rough. It was like a bull in a china shop. And I needed so much of Sri Sri's attention. I never thought that eventually I would become the president of his US-based organization.
And the inspiration behind this document is His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
And this is a little bit about the person who will be teaching the class. He's out here for the Mind, Body, Spirit Expo, which is down in San Diego. And our beloved Rick Mars is also a speaker at this venue, if you'd like to go down. Sunday of Labor Day weekend, we're having a barbecue and a concert. Now, the concert's going to be with Jamie. Oh, I've been announcing this for 5 or 6 weeks. No one knows? It's Jamie Lula. He's fabulous. He's one of the most sought-after entertainers in our movement. So please plan to come on Sunday the 2nd outside in the patio. It's going to be great. We're starting what we're calling a young adult conversation with Joe Murray, who was raised in our teaching here at Seaside. And that's going to start on September 9th. That'll be on a Sunday. And lastly, we have a couples club that started last month and is having their second meeting. So if you're a couple and like to get to know other couples in our community, Saturday, August 25th at 6:30, there'll be a potluck here at Seaside, and the intention is for everyone to get to know each other a little bit more and then plan future events. RSVP in the newsletter. There is an email to RSVP, or do what I do, just show up. And now, without further ado, I like to say that, please help me welcome Reverend Tammy, practitioner, Gale manager, and guest artist, Ray Davis.
God, I know that all is well. I know that all is well. And the light of God is shining me, is resting in the light of God. I know that all is well. Know that all is well. And the joy of God is joy in me, is resting in the joy of God. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. The love of God, the breath of God, the light of God, the joy of God, the wisdom, the power, the strength, the all-knowing of God is breathing me. I know that all is well. I know that all is well.
And all is well. For I know right here at Seaside, our sacred home, our spiritual home, that God simply is. That God is that infinite and eternal spirit that lives, moves, and has its being in, through, and around all things. For God is spirit, God is life, God is peace. The one power, the one life. And I know that I am one with God, one with that infinite and eternal spirit. And what is true for me is also true for each person here. Each person here is one with that divine being. And how grateful I am for this place called Seaside. How grateful I am for each person and volunteer that has come together to make this service absolutely perfect in every way. For we have Ray Davis as a singer and musician. We have our band. We have Reverend Tammy Mars and Reverend Lori Sheets. How could I forget that? For I can forget nothing, for God is all there is, and I am one with that one mind that remembers all. And so let us go within to that place of the divine mind where we prepare ourselves for spirit to hear the message that is so divinely inspired. And so it is.
Thank you so much. Our artistic director, reverend friend, and practitioner and author, Gail Manashar. Good morning again. I am still, by the grace of God, I am still Lori Sheets. And that's, oh, you think that's a good thing? That's very good. That's very good. We know that anyone who is here for the first time or for the fact that they've been here several times, we know that whoever you are and wherever you are in your spiritual journey, that you are welcome here. We hope that we have greeted you with open arms and open hearts. We gather together on Sundays and through our classes and events to celebrate the oneness with the divine and our oneness with each other. So, to warm us up for greeting our neighbor, I'd like everyone to stand and turn towards the camera and say, "Hello, Reverend Christian," because we're podcasting. Hello, hello, we miss you. And now greet the rest of the people who are here.
Please remain standing. Time for our congregational song.
Oh, is that right?
This morning we're singing Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti,
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my heart, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my heart, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Peace inside the earth, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God and only God I live to see. Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Shanti Om, Shanti Shanti Om.
Fran, can we sing it again? No? I'm thinking that's a no. I'm thinking that's a... I've selected a reading today from a book called The Path of Transformation by Shakti Gawain. So go ahead and get comfortable and settle in. I'll be reading through this and then I'll be going straight into a prayer. So, to me, living conspicuously means accepting our human weaknesses and imperfections without judging ourselves harshly and being willing to learn from our unconscious patterns of belief once we become aware of them. It means looking at our experiences as gifts that can help us grow, recognizing that everyone and everything we encounter is a potential teacher. It means taking responsibility, not blame, for our thoughts, feelings, and actions, recognizing that they do have an effect on others. It means listening and reaching deep inside ourselves to find our inner sense of truth, and then doing our best to speak and live that truth, moment to moment and day by day. And it means generously embodying the gift of our being as well as our special talents and abilities. And so allow your eyes to close, coming fully present to this moment, right here, right now. I know that I am one with the Beloved. I am one with the divine presence, the Spirit, the essence that God is within me. All of the joy and the harmony, the love, the peace, the knowledge, the wisdom, the clarity, the wholeness, all that God is within me. And so I simply get out of the way. As once I have discovered and deepened my connection with the Beloved, it is easier and easier for me to express that God presence, that wholeness, that allness. Knowing that as I am one with the divine, each person, place, and thing is one with God, as God is all there is. What a blessing to know this, what a blessing to feel this, what a blessing to allow my oneness with God to express much more brightly than I had ever imagined. And so I am grateful. As I have the skills and the desire and the knowledge of how to do just that, to shine, to shine.
And for that, I am grateful. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Om Shanti Om. Oh, it's wrong. I'm too late. Oh, well, that all right. I didn't know what she meant. Oh, this was too long or something. I loved it myself. I love that song, Om Shanti, from our own Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith. That's where our guest artist is from today, Mr. Ray Davis. Before I introduce him, though, I want to really get out of his way. And I want to thank everybody for Friday night. You all were wonderful. I see some performers there, and I have to tell you, Reverend Tammy was there, the board of directors were there, Rick and Roll were there. We had a great time, and I did want to tell you, from my estimation, from my precursory estimation, I think we gleaned about $1,100. Good start. So thank you, you all. Thank you so much. Right now, Mr. Ray Davis is here. You've seen him before. He's going to be back again with us. He's coming back next year. We just talked about a concert for next year. And I want to tell you this. Is this on sale for today? Yes. This is in his little stash of stuff over there at the musician's table called Ray Davis Live at Agape. I've had it for almost a year now. I couldn't find it. And then I found it again. So that's, it was here. He's here with it. Please pick some stuff up from him before he leaves back to Los Angeles. He's going to be singing some beautiful songs this morning. Would you please put your hands together for our lovely and beloved friend, Ray Davis.
Okay. I got the key on the... Good morning, everybody. I bring you greetings from the Agape International Spiritual Center in Culver City, California. Actually, where I come from, that's the thing you do. You always bring greetings from the church. I don't know why. They don't know I'm here. I snuck out this one. But I'm very happy to be back here at Seaside. I love coming here. I get to tell people, you always have the loveliest weather for me. So we're going to sing a little story song this morning. Yeah. This is about a cat who actually believed in the idea of mediocrity, that it could possibly apply to him. Isn't that crazy? This song's called The Average Man. Thought he was an average man, average face and average hands, average feet set square on the middle tier. Satisfied with his mild success, as much as any average man could expect, until the day he was beset by his greatest fear. It all started with a feeling, a feeling so intense that time and space stood still. What if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and the wonders was the plan for the average man. For the average man. All his life he said he'd find the nerve to stretch and reach beyond the bell curve, but never did for fear of drawing back an empty hand. He said, what's an average a rich man to do with so little time and all those things to think through. Maybe I should just stick to what I understand. Maybe. But he couldn't shake that feeling, no. A feeling so immense it filled the whole blue skies. And what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? Miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. For the average man. Hey! No, he couldn't shake that feeling, no. A feeling so intense it about to blow his mind. He said, oh, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? Miracles and wonders was the for the average. I got to sing it na 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 na. Come on, sing it with me na 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 na. Go ahead na 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 na. Oh yeah, na 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 na. Come on now, sing it from your heart, y'all. Na 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 na. Sing it from your soul. Na na. Hey, na 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 na. Hey, na 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 na. You're not average anymore. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Sounds so good. And na 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 na. No 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 no.
Go Ray Davis and the Seaside Band. Good job. Music is so wonderful, isn't it? It just does everything. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Tammy Mars. It's my joy to be with you this morning as we're coming together, and we try to do that as often as possible to remember. As it said, 100% of spiritual growth never is about getting, it is about letting go. It's about remembering the truth. And so I'm here to share with you today. Today, our theme all year is Timeless Truths of Transformation, and our theme today is Embodiment. And I'm bringing to you today a tool that I have found to be extremely helpful. Some of you maybe have heard of it, and it's called Ho'oponopono. And it's a Hawaiian word. It's a tool that was developed in Hawaii by a woman called Morna, and many years ago. And it's been brought current, if you will, by Dr. Hugh Lin. And we really found out about it a little bit more from Joe Vitale, who wrote a book, Zero Limits. And we actually have the book in the bookstore if you're interested in knowing more about this after you hear about it today. So I've been studying this, knowing that I was going to be sharing this with you today for about 3 weeks, reading it and kind of embodying it, getting on the internet, finding out a lot about it. And the story is pretty darn fascinating, and it addresses the one spiritual subject or the spiritual principle that on one hand I really like. I just find it to be the most powerful one. On the other hand, I just hate it. And it's the one that says that you are 100% responsible for everything in your life. Everything. Even what everyone else is doing. If it's in your life, you're responsible for every single thing that's in your consciousness. I love that from the standpoint that I know that without being responsible, then I would be a victim, and I would be at the whims of everything that was going on, and I would have no power. I would be powerless, and I would just be living this life blowing in the wind. And so with that truth and that teaching, I claim my power, because I know that I am the co-creator and that I can shift and change by choices and by utilizing spiritual tools and create my world. And it's just evident because look at the people that are all around you and some of the creations they're doing and some of the creations you're not doing, and on and on. So it is powerful to know that we are the 100% responsible for every single thing that's in our consciousness, that's in our experience. So Ho'oponopono takes this, and I only have a short while to talk about this today, but they talk about it from the world responsibility, and I want to share with you why this became of interest to me, and I thought it might be of value to you also. And it's the story about Dr. Hugh Lin. He said he worked at a Hawaii state hospital for 3 years. The ward where they kept the criminally insane was very dangerous. Psychologists quit on a monthly basis. The staff called in sick a lot and simply quit. People would walk through the ward with their backs against the wall, afraid of being attacked by patients. It was not a pleasant place to work, live, or visit. Dr. Hugh Lin, who was the psychologist on duty, the new hired psychologist, during his 3-year stay there, he never saw one of the patients professionally one-on-one. He never counseled with them. He agreed to review their files. But while he looked at those files, he would work on himself. As he worked on himself, his patients began to heal. After a few months, patients who had been shackled were being allowed to walk freely. Others who had been heavily medicated were getting off their medication. And those who had been seen as having no chances ever being released were freed. Not only that, but the staff began to enjoy working there. Absenteeism and turnover disappeared. And the whole staff we ended up with more staff than we had needs of patients. Eventually, the entire ward was closed. What were you doing within yourself, was asked, that caused those people to change? And he put it, I was simply cleaning that part of me that I shared with them. Dr. Hugh Lin explained that total responsibility for your life means that everything in your life, simply because it is in your life, is your responsibility. In a literal sense, the entire world is your creation. All right, so that's taking it to the extreme, and that's taking it where, one day we hope to be able to do. It's reassuring to know that any of the spiritual work we're doing is not only affecting us, but it's affecting those outside of us and the outside world. He actually came upon this teaching because he had a daughter that was born, and for like the first number of years that she was born, all she did was cry 24/7, just crying, crying, crying. Any of us mothers who have had children and babies that have cried, we know how hard that is, but for years. And finally, one day he was driving, and literally he felt the car just turn back and go into an office, which was the woman who had brought this about Morna, and go into her office. And he just sat there and the little girl showed her arms, and they were all bloody and everything. She had a kind of psoriasis or something that she was scratching, so she was just all bloody. They sat there. The lady went within for about an hour. They watched her and kind of thought, what is she doing? What's going on? And, not really knowing. And they sat there while she went within and used this process, Ho'oponopono. And used it and said, okay, you can go. And within a year, all of it was completely gone. She was completely healed. So that kind of information was powerful information, at least for me, to know what this process is and what is it, what are we learning, and how can I use that myself. And I went ahead and bought the DVD, and I was watching it, and he used a sample of something that I had never seen before, and I thought it brought it home really good. And basically what he said is that we are like this glass. We are whole, perfect, and complete. There's nothing wrong with us at all. We are transparencies of God. Everything that God is shines through us in its wholeness and its completeness. Everything, abundance, health, wholeness, all of it, joy, peace. But what happens is that we get these blockages that block the light that's coming through us, and how he explains it is that they're just memories. They're just programs. It's just data that we have accumulated along the way. It's just data. Remove the data and it shines. Put the data back, the memories and that, and it blocks the light that we are, the wholeness, the expression of wholeness, and all of those things that we are trying to be. I'd never seen that example done before, and I thought, wow, that is a really clear way of explaining what's really going on. The best thing I like about that is that, one of the hard things is we beat ourselves up. How did I create this? What did I do to make this wrong? What's broken in me? What's wrong? Am I ever going to change it? Am I going to be broke forever? Am I always going to have these problems? And we feel like we got this stuff that's just like stuck in us, and it's our fault, and what's there. And what they go forth in explaining, and they separate us from it, saying, no, that's not who we are. We're whole, perfect, and complete. It's just this data, this memories, and it's not only ours, and it's not our fault. It's just out there. It's part of our collective consciousness. Some of them we have gathered ourselves, and some not. He talks about that our conscious mind can only accumulate about 15 bits of information at a time. And there's about 15 million bits of information that is going on constantly. So a lot of the stuff that's going on is in our unconscious, and it's in the collective conscious, and it's all around. And so the Ho'oponopono is a method, is a tool that they teach on clearing that out without having to know what it is, what went wrong, why am I doing it, where is it broken, or whatever is going on. But literally it's a tool to clear it out. He talks about these programs, these memories, and these things that we've used as a blockage to our light, that we're running in our head all the time. He talks to them as just as simple as being like catching a cold. We just catch them. We don't know where. From the time we were born, we've just caught them. And that's no big deal. Just as we can catch a cold, we can release them. And the whole Ho'oponopono is a cleansing process where you're cleansing constantly. Anything that comes into your awareness, anything that's in your consciousness, you cleanse it through 4 powerful statements. But one of the most powerful parts of it is love, using the power of love. So we just catch this data. We catch this data and we hold on to it and we store it and we let it kind of filter our view of the world. Because all perspectives, and as he claims about that, there is no such thing as anything that's out there. Everything is in here. That's another hard concept for us to get, to really, really get. What do you mean there's nothing out there, it's all in there? And they said, how can I be 100% responsible? And they said, well, because it was you that saw it, that had to process the information in your mind, so therefore it is in you. And so the cleaning process and the clearing process is a process that we do within ourselves. And we all have this experience too. There's a gazillion things going on in the world right now. And we may have those that we're passionate about and that we're about. And we run into people that are passionate and doing stuff that we didn't even know existed that's going on in the world. So there's lots that is going on. And so that which we're wanting to clear and clean is that which is in our awareness and in our consciousness. There is no out there. We place the value and we use our perspectives to place value and meaning on every single thing we see and experience. We do. And every single person does it differently, has a different value and a different perspective and a different experience of it. We place it. So therefore we can cleanse it, we can reshape it, we can choose again, choose new. Some of you may have seen it. Oprah has her Spiritual Sunday program, and she had a gentleman by the name of Michael Singer. And he has a book called The Untethered Soul. And The Untethered Soul is just this exact subject. He talks about it that literally that we are the seer, that the thoughts and all the stuff that's going through our mind and through our programming at this time, that the seer, the one that's observing it, is standing over here observing all of it that's going on. We are not all that data. We are not those thoughts. We are not those things. We are the one that's standing back observing it. We're the clear transparency that's standing back observing all of those things and giving them meaning and value and getting invested in them, putting energy in them or not. He talks about that literally what the only solution to this is to go into that space of emptiness, because it's in that space that is love. God, the activity of God active is love in action. That's the activity of God is love. As we stand in there, we have new insight. We have new ways of seeing things. That's all we need to do is lean back. And he literally did that. Just lean back as if you're almost in the embrace and let all that stuff come and go and come and go. You don't need to get engaged in it. You don't need to get solved and fixed and all of those kinds of things, because you don't have a very clear mind from that perspective to fix and solve it anyways. The best place you can get inspiration, the best place you can be is back here in the divine, in this empty space, unblocked, receiving inspiration. Because the ego has a limited amount of information from which to deal with. So Michael Singer, he uses a great example. He uses an example of a thorn. He says it's almost as if you were to have a thorn that was really wedged into your arm. And it's hitting all your nerves, and it really hurts. It's really an area that's tender for you, a soft spot in your heart. It's tender. He says you have two choices with that thorn. You can, as a lot of us do, we protect it. We keep everybody away from it. We design our entire life around it so that you don't touch it, so I don't have to go into those areas that don't feel good. And you know, we even tell people don't go there, you know, and all those kinds of things, because we're protecting this thorn that is in us. Or we have the choice where we can just clean it. We could just remove it. And then therefore life can happen, experiences can happen, this, that, and the other, and they don't activate us. Oprah had a great line. And she said, "Oh, it's never what is happening. It's that what is happening is irritating my thorn." That's so true. Because that's our perspective. That's the value we've given it. So the Ho'oponopono is in the same alignment of that. It's going back to that zero space. It's going back to that clear fluorescent space, that place where light flows unblocked, because from there you have inspiration. Ho'oponopono says you either have memory or inspiration. Memory or inspiration. So inspiration is of the divine, and it has its own power, its own volition. It pulls you. Memory has problems, challenge, solvings, fixings, those kinds of things. It usually is heavy. Inspiration is joy-filled, exciting, creative. It's the feeling from the divine. And so how we use these is he has 4 key statements that he uses. And you can use them in any order. You can use one of them. You can use all of them. You can do it any way you want. There's no have to here on all of it. But the very first one is, I love you. I love you. That's powerful. Right now on Wednesday night, we're studying The Way of Mastery, and we spoke last week, the book for the year, and we spoke last week on the voice of love. And love, as I said, it is the activity. It's how you see God in action. It's the activity of God. It's synonymous with God. And the voice of love is powerful because it's who we are. It is the energy, the vibration that's within every cell and every part of our being. That's love. It's not like we have to go get it or call it forth or find it or any of those things. It's there. So we can shift into that part of us at any given time. And in there, the power of love, or the voice of love, informs, just like the void informs. It tells us exactly what we need to do. That power of love tells us and guides us and leads us exactly what we need to do. And that power of love brings with it healing. You see, when we're in the middle of stuff and we engage in it, we get in the muck of it, there's no healing going on. But when we stand back, we release the blocks, we release the things that's in the way of the light, and we stand back and immerse ourselves in love. From there, all things flow. It flows through and as us. Love brings the healing when we decide to step into love. It brings it. So the statement, I love you, and part of the cleansing part, as he said, is to say, I love you, 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 over and over and over again. I love you, I love you, I love you. Since I've been studying this, to prepare for this, I realize how much I'm not in love. How much I'm not saying I love you. I mean, I'm in hurry, I'm in rush, I'm in get it done, I'm in, figure it out, I'm in all of those other states versus the state of I love you, I love you, I love you. And I know what that feels like. You know what that feels like. You know when you're in that state. So that's what he talks about. The clearing and the cleansing is just to love, because that which you don't resist, you love. That which you don't resist, you love, where there's no resistance. The Bible says in Luke, judge not, and you won't be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. We don't resist it. We love. We just love. We just place love on it. The second phrase that he uses is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, I didn't get that I'm sorry part for a while. But then when watching the DVD, he does a meditation. He calls it an inner child meditation, but it's different than what we're accustomed to. He utilizes the conscious mind as the mother and the subconscious mind as the child, because there's such a separation between how the stuff that's going on consciously and how much is going on unconsciously. So they're talking to each other. The mother's talking to her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've had this misperception. I'm sorry that I've judged that wrong. I'm sorry that I have this programming. I'm sorry that we're going through this challenge. You're really talking to that part of yourself that has accepted the programming, the blocks and that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for any pain that has existed, for the dis-ease, for the struggle, for the challenge that this misunderstanding, this misperception has created in my life, our life. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. And the last one is thank you. Thank you. I mean, recently, and we all go through our stuff, and recently I've been having some different things going on, and so I've really had the chance to think of a statement that's been ringing in my head a lot, and it's this. It's that this is not happening to me, It's happening for me. Complete responsibility, I have created the perfect experience to get me to where I want to go. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. I have created the perfect experience. And when we think about it, isn't it true? All the stuff that we do and all that we go through, it ends up being the perfect experience to take me where I've been wanting to go, to that place of pure God, that place of joy and peace, that place of ease and harmony, that place of abundance and wholeness. This experience and what I'm going through is what a loving God that has created it. Thank you, I've created the perfect experience to take me to where I want to go. To God. When we think about our experiences, that's where they take us. I love you. I'm sorry I have these misperceptions and my humanness and this, that, and the other. I held on to one of those programs or blocks, those memories they call it. I've let it run the ship for a while. And I'm sorry, please forgive me for the pain and challenge in that. I love you. Thank you for taking me to exactly where I wanted to go. And repeating that over and over and seeing that and knowing that. And anything that comes into your experience, it says, if you got it, you own it. If you see it, you own it. Or, it's right there. We do that on everything, whether it's the war on TV, whether it's what's going on with us, whether it's what's going on with somebody that we love. Thank you. I'm sorry. Because it is part of us, because it's in our consciousness. And that's the part we clean. The match that's in us. The shared energy, they call it. We clean the shared energy. So I was writing this yesterday, or working this through, and Rick, my husband, came up to me and said, "You're not going to believe this." We live at the beach. And he said, somebody broke into they didn't break in, we had the door unlocked, came into our shed, which is in a place that's not a common place, and we have a gated community, came into our shed and stole our 2 surfboards, which we've recently bought, and our wetsuits. I was like, you're kidding. I just couldn't believe it. And I'm like going, I love you, I love you, I love you, And it was like, it wasn't working, really. It wasn't working, And I told Rick, it's like, gosh, I feel violated. There's just something icky about that. Like, when did they do that? And they were just like sneaking in, and they were getting into all our stuff, and they just like took it. And literally all day I was like, this just feels icky. I just can't shake that icky feeling, on that. And then when I woke up this morning and I was preparing and looking at this, and I realized what they said. I was reviewing that, and they said that the individual is that pane of glass. That's who and what they are. And they just caught a program. They just caught a virus, like a cold. They just caught a memory. That's all that they did. They were just working from that program. And haven't I had that program before? Where I didn't have something that I really wanted, or felt like there was something that I really needed that wasn't mine, that was outside of me, or that I didn't have the abundance or the things that I really wanted. And I shared that, and I realized from that space I could say, I love you. It was a program that was running. It wasn't even, I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. I forgive me for the spot that's for any individual that's walking this planet that has a sense that they don't have enough and they can't have it, or that they need something that belongs to somebody else, that they have to take it for whatever reason. I'm sorry. I love you. I forgive you. And from there, where I could see them as an individual that just caught a program, caught a memory or whatever, caught a virus, just similar to me. We're all catching them all the time. They're always around. And it's just to clean it and clean it and clear it and clear it and clear it. From there, I could put it to work. From there, I felt good. And from there, I could say that it didn't happen to me. It happened for me. I created the exact experience that I wanted to take me to where I wanted to be. In love, in understanding this, in working this, in a place of peace, a place of knowing that all is well and all is God. It's perfect. I want to share with you, just on a closing, how they talk about this at the end. He says, you don't have a clue what's going on. It is impossible to be aware of everything happening in and around you consciously or unconsciously. Your conscious mind isn't the only creator. You don't have control over everything. Since your ego can't see much of what is going on in the world right now, letting your ego decide what is best for you probably isn't the wisest thing. You have choice, but you don't have control. You can use your conscious mind to begin to choose what you prefer to experience, but you have to let go of whether you manifest it or not, and how or when. For surrender is the key. It's trusting God. You can heal whatever comes up your way. Whatever appears in your life, no matter how it got there, is up for healing simply because it's now in your radar. The assumption here is that you can feel it, you can heal it. If you can see it in someone else and it bothers you, then it's up for healing. You may have no idea why it's in your life or how it got there, but you can let it go because you're now aware of it. The more you heal what comes up, the clearer you are to manifest what you prefer, because you will be freeing stuck energy to use for other matters. You are 100% responsible for your experience. What happens in your life is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Take complete responsibility for all that appears in your life. In short, you can't blame anyone or anything for your current reality. All you can do is take responsibility for it, which means accept it, own it, and love it up. The more you heal what comes up, the more you get in tune with your source. Your ticket to that zero limits is saying the phrase, I love you. The path that gets you peace beyond all understanding, from healing to manifestation, is simply the phrase, I love you. Saying cleans everything in you. The idea is to love everything. Love that extra fat on your body, that addiction, that problem child, that neighbor or spouse. Love it all. Love transmutes the stuck energy and frees it. Saying I love you is the open sesame to experience the divine. Inspiration is more important than intention. Inspiration is a directive from the divine. At some point you'll surrender and start listening rather than begging and waiting. Intention is trying to control life based on your limited view. Inspiration is receiving a message from the divine and then acting on it. Intention works and brings results. Inspiration works and brings miracles. So allow the conscious mind to be awakened to the gift of peace beyond all understanding. Let us declare, I love you. I live in that space of love. I open my heart, my cell, and every part of my being, which is a part of my being, is love. I allow that to come forth, be that transparency for the light to shine through. And I clear those blocks constantly by loving them, because love transforms all things. Love transforms all things. I am sorry that I have adapted any of those programs and memories that might be creating pain or dis-ease. Please forgive me. Thank you for coming to my awareness and my consciousness so I can go to where I want to be. I love you. The powerful process. I invite you to practice it and use it. Let us turn within together. Taking a big breath and releasing it. As I feel, sense, and know that powerful grace, that powerful God that is right here, right now. It is who and what I am. It shines forth through me, for I am the transparency of God. I know that I am not those thoughts, those memories, those programs, or I am nothing that blocks that light from coming through and as me. I stand separate as that powerful pane of glass that all can shine forth through. I release. I release by loving. I release by transforming. I release by letting go and letting God, trusting completely in the divine guidance, timing, and intelligence. So with that, I give great thanks. And so it is. Amen.
Sunlight falling warm around your head. sweet dream is calling you. Wake up, rise up, you will see. Life is more than misery. It's alright now. Looks like you made it somehow. It's alright now, now, move on. You need not mention all the webs you've spun. No invention can undo what's done. Guilt can only weigh you down if you let it hang around. Wake up, rise up, breathe it in. You can start all over again. It's alright now. Looks like you made it somehow, and it's alright now, now. Give in to this epiphany. Let your soul sing a symphony. Sing against darker destinies and let it all go. Why not give yourself another chance to live and love beyond your circumstance? Get up, stand up, and join the dance, and let it all go. Just let it all go. Just let it go, let it go, let it go, and move on. It's alright now. Looks like you made it somehow, and it's alright now, now. It's alright now. It looks like you made it somehow, yeah. It's alright now, now. Oh no, move on.
And that is a wonderful Ray Davis. Thank you. He actually wrote both of those songs. Nice. So this is the time of our service for our tithes and offerings. I'd like to call the ushers forward at this time. Anytime that we make the transference of money, it's our opportunity to go into our heart and to just give thanks. For we know all financial abundance is the activity of God. And it has just one purpose, and that's to bless you. And we know that this is a circulating infinite source, and that it moves from other individuals and it comes into our life for one purpose only. As they release it, they give it to us for our good, our great good. And so I know that as you are passing this in that divine circulation into this Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, we are doing just that. We are not only creating good for the individuals that are called here, and thousands of people walk through these doors every year, to be able to have a place like this to remember the truth. But we know that every individual that has taken a step in consciousness, in awareness, goes out and touches thousands themselves. What a powerful thing we are doing here together as we are shifting the consciousness of the world. I'm so eternally grateful for all your financial abundance so that we can be here and have this Seaside Center, so thank you. So let us take our offering. I want to thank those on our auto tithe program, those that mail it in. Place it next to our heart and say, thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you for this blessing of good that has come forth and touched our lives in magnificent ways. Thank you for the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living and the spiritual truth and this transparency of God that is able to flow through me and each individual and those I come in contact with. May this go forth and bless and prosper all whom it touches. May the greatness, the allness, the abundance, the infiniteness of God flow and bless each of our lives, enabling us to give, to share, and to make a difference. It's like that. With that heart, I give great thanks. And so it is. Amen. Let us say our affirmation together that says, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. This is a full-service church. Take care of it all. Awesome. That's great. Good job, guys. Very good. Thank you to them. We also, Ray has CDs. Please be sure to pick those up and support his gift out into the world. So we appreciate that. Thank you to Ed and Mar for their audio visuals. Thank you so much. Thank you to Reverend Fran and Reverend Lori. Thank you for your help. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for being here and being the consciousness and willing to just say yes to Spirit and being a vessel. So thank you so much. Is there anybody here for the very first time today? If so, I'd like you to stand up or raise your hands. We have a bag for you that has some gifts for you here. So we have some people here in the front. Keep your hand up. We got lots of people running all around here to help. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us. We appreciate you. Thank you. Lots going on here at Seaside, as we talked about. The Way of Mastery has their group coming up, classes happening, all kinds of things. I think, is Jamie Lula coming, Lori? Lori. September 2nd, so come be part of that. All right, good. Let's do what we love to do, and that is to pray. And I invite you to bring anybody that's in your heart right now into this space as we bring them into this place of zero limits. We all go in together as we cleanse and clean, as we love, for love transforms all things. We bring into this space of clearing, of I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Every individual that's here, for I know that it is not happening to me, it is happening for me, and we each are creating the absolute perfect experience for us to go to the place that we want to be, and that is closer to God. And so it's with a heart that's filled with gratitude that I just acknowledge right here, right now, these individual souls as that beautiful transparency. I can see the light shining through unobstructed. For that is the truth of who and what we are. We let go of those programs and those memories and those thoughts and those deeds that are no longer serving us, that are in our ways, and we lean back into the embrace of the divine and let divine inspiration guide and lead us and prosper us and make us healthy and whole. It's with this truth and this knowingness that I give great thanks to remember today. For I know 100% of spiritual growth never is about getting, it always is about letting go. So I let go of anything that no longer serves myself, this congregation, this planet, or anyone that we love. It's the power of consciousness, the cleansing that affects the entire world, and I give great thanks. And so it is. Amen.
Was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I did not know the love of God was a one more day. You got to let it go. you know there's no more struggle, no more strife.
My faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here.
Yes, I'm only here.
Come on now, Wanda.
Yes, I'm only here. Yes, I'm only here.
Yeah, yes, I'm only here.
Yes, I'm only here.
For who you here for?
And our affirmation for the day is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. One more time. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And the grace song.
Living in love, living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one